Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of What's New in Kaiju. Now, before we go any further, doing it solo, I don't have my partner in crime, but I'll talk more about that momentarily. Let me just make sure that my mobile device is up to date, that we're good, signal-wise, all that good stuff. Let's see. Yep, I can hear myself. All right, welcome back to another edition of What's New in Kaiju, but we're doing something special this week because my partner in crime, who's normally here every Wednesday, of course, the awesome AJ Russo, he is out with his beautiful wife this evening because it is her birthday. So I want to give you birthday shout out to Kelly Russo. Hope you're having a great birthday. Hopefully he is taking you to something other than McDonald's. At least Burger King. They got the better burgers. But no, seriously, hope you're having a great, happy birthday. And you'll see AJ in his awesome New York glory with the goatee and the hair and all that good stuff next week on What's New in Kaiju, where we talk about basically everything that went down with the Monarchs TV series that just concluded last week of season 2. We're going to talk about the highs and lows, everything in between, our favorite episodes, our favorite moments, a recap of Monarch season 2. So we hope to see you there come next week when AJ is finally back. But this week, this is a very special occasion, a very special unboxing and reveal of something a long time coming. But I couldn't do it alone. I had to get the mastermind behind this reveal. Of course, to my left or right, whichever one, whatever. You see his beautiful face on this channel before. The one and the only, the man behind the awesome model kit service, build-up service, Betters Creations, the one and the only Greg Betters. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing good, Leslie. Thanks for having me here, buddy. Really appreciate it. Always fun doing this, man. Anytime you need me, I'm here. This is fun.
And again, I really do appreciate you doing this because again, you were the man behind this sculpt and this at least the build and paint job behind what we're about to reveal, ladies and gentlemen. And what we're going to reveal is the 30 centimeter resin model kit from Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, courtesy of Dot Mac, sculpted by the awesome Jake Rebel from Monster Rage, of our favorite Showa Okinawa god, the one and the only King Caesar or King Caesar or King Caesar. You know what? Let's go through that right now. How do you pronounce his name, Greg? Is it King Caesar, King Caesar?
I mean,
Caesar? What do you say?
I always just go Caesar whenever I say it. So I mean, that's how I'd say it.
Oh my God. We're getting canceled already, ladies and gentlemen.
Caesar. It's Caesar, right? That's Caesar. I mean, isn't that right? I mean, that's what I always thought it was Caesar.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I say, well, you know what? It's funny, when I first watched the dub of the movie of Godzilla, from Mechagodzilla 1974, they would say his name as King Caesar. But now that I got more into the fandom, I've always said, you know, more so nowadays, I say King Caesar. You know, it just depends. It's like Angulus, or Anguirus, King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah, Baalante, what's another one? Varan, Jet Jaguar, Destroyer.
Yep.
What's another one?
Megalon. There's Megalon and Megaron.
There's
Megaron.
There's Ebera and Ibera. There's Hedra, Hedora.
Yep.
Hedora. What's another one? There's got to be another one. There's got to be one that we're missing. I think that's it. I think because again, it's like
covered them.
I think we covered them because
I'm looking around the room here.
Yeah, there's really no wrong way to say these monsters. It just depends on what you grew up involved in, like the dub.
Did we say Gigan or Gigon, or is that something?
That's another one. Like, yeah. I say Gigan. Like Kyle from Collect All Monsters, he says Gigan. It just depends on who you talk to, you know.
It could be where you live too, like, you know, pop soda kind of thing. Or, well, I'm from Rochester here, and we have a city called Chili, which it's spelled chili, and we also have Charlotte Beach, where it's supposed to be Charlotte. It's just we're all kinds of messed up here and illiterate. So
yeah. But either way, we're going to be unveiling the get this off if I can. If not, I ain't gonna worry about it. We're going to be talking about, again, revealing the 30 centimeter resin model kit from Galloping Ghost, one of the newest kits of King Caesar. Now, before we go any further, let me highlight some of the comments that's in the comment section right now. We got 14 people watching. Thank you so much. We got Frank. How you doing, sir? Thank you for being here. We got Alex Sawyer. How you doing, sir? Of course, we got Nathaniel Plummer. He's always here to support. Thank you so much. Of course, one of the brain children behind King Caesar, how we got this kit, the one and the only Marcellus Winters. What's up, Cellus?
Marcellus.
What's going on, man? Trust me, a shout out is coming for you. Let's see, Josh Hoy. I'm sure you know him, Greg. I'm sure he sent you a lot of his money. The man who wants to know everything about the secret behind the eyes. You know what I'm saying? Which, in my opinion, I think you make the best eyes. Like when it comes to eyes,
thanks.
Like the eyes that you have done, like for me personally, with the Godzilla, King Caesar here. Damn, I just changed his name already. King Caesar. The GMK Barragon, like, man, you are the master when it comes to eyes. Like, you have mastered your craft. Absolutely awesome. Of course, Kaiju Live. AJ Russo's in the chat. He's probably he's probably at Burger King with his wife. So.
AJ, what are you doing in here? No, go with your wife. My wife's in the chat too. She's Flower City.
Oh, that's her.
She's
yeah,
that's her. That's Justine. Yeah.
Okay.
She says tomato.
What's up, Justine? How you doing? Of course, Rad Reptile. Again, another great supporter of Kaiju Live. Let's see, Jim Gala or Gala. Let's see who else. Marcellus said Greg, he'll be in Rochester tomorrow, so you may see his beautiful face tomorrow.
You're gonna be in Rochester tomorrow?
That's what he said.
Marcellus, you gotta tell me this stuff. We're gonna go see Mortal Kombat tomorrow night. You're gonna come with us. There you go.
So let's see. Is AJ here? Let me see if he's going to be added to the stage. Is he here? Or I don't know. It's probably just okay. I'll move to the stage. All right. But again, this is the reveal of the 30 centimeter resin model kit of the Galloping Ghost King Caesar. So now let me go into the history behind this project. Now, I started collecting, of course, model kits back in 2021. As a matter of fact, it was ironically AJ Russo that got me onto the model kit train. Like I got the KOC 64 from him, which I know you got, Greg, and you're currently building him. I assume, right? You're currently building him. Oh yeah. Probably one
of the best, primed.
Good. Probably one of the best representations of that suit of Godzilla. You know, and I got the kit from him, and that really opened my eyes of wanting to go more into model kits. Now, before then, I got model kits here and there. But once I got that kit, I went full bore. Like I dove in like real deep with the model kit thing. And for me, it's more an expensive endeavor, like I said many times before, because for me, since I don't have the expertise to build and paint them like I want them, like Greg, like Marcellus, and other people in our fandom that I go to for the buildup of these kits, I don't have the expertise to make them what I want, you know. So again, it's more expensive for me to not only buy the kit, have to hire somebody, pay for the shipping for the kit to get to them, and then the kit get back to me. But the trade-off of that is that, again, you get really good quality model kits and representations of monsters that maybe these other companies will not touch for whatever reason, whether they can or where they don't, or whatever the case may be. So again, while model kits is more of an expensive endeavor, to me, it's more of refreshing and more of an endeavor that kind of pays off. You know what I'm saying? Because again, there's not too many Mecha King Ghidorahs out there, but I got a representation of him in model kit form. 30 centimeter King Caesar, which I'll talk more about him in momentarily. So ever since I got the KLC kit from him, I got more into the model kits. Fast forward, I want to say 2022, I believe, or 2023. I got my first ever Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo kit from model kit extraordinaire or enthusiast Mac, you know, and we all know Mac, you know what I'm saying? Wonderful, great, awesome human being, but he's got like a plethora of kits himself, and he also created the Kaiju Kit database, where he pretty much has uploaded pretty much every kit that's ever been made, past, present, future. And so once I found out he was started doing these kits of his own from Galloping Ghost, my first ever kit I got from him was the 1972 Godzilla, which again, that the representation of that suit in collectible form, there's not too many versions of that suit out there, which is by far, a lot of people would say, is the worst looking version of the Sho Shingeki suit, or the 68 Godzilla suit. But I saw that Galloping Ghost was making one, and they did a great job of representing the suit with the tears and all the worn down look that suit had in that movie of 1972's Godzilla vs. Gigan. It was in 30 centimeter scale. And once I got that, I went again with the whole model kit thing, just head first into Galloping Ghost. And what caught my eye with Galloping Ghost in particular is that they started doing a lot of these monsters that may not be too popular with other fans, like with the 72 Godzilla. Then I got the GMK Baragon kit, which was the first kit that Greg worked for me. Then he did the entire lineup of Final Wars. Now, say what you will about the movie, but the fact that he created every single monster from that film, and a total of 15 of them, in 30 centimeter scale from that movie, I thought was a really cool thing. Say what you want about the film aside, I'm talking about the fact that he took the time to make all those monsters from that film. And ever since then, I got a good chunk of them. And me and Marcellus became like, customers of his, like really loyal customers of Doc and Galloping Ghost, to the point where he started asking me and Marcellus, and I believe Greg too, some ideas of what he wants to put out there from Galloping Ghost. Like, what do you want to see, right? Fast forward to 2024, and we thought that maybe somehow, some way, somebody was going to make a 30 centimeter King Caesar in honor of his 50th anniversary that year. Now, to my knowledge, the only 30 centimeter King Caesar that I know is a resin model kit from Resin Chefs. And that came out in 2004 of the Showa King Caesar, which looked good for its time. But even now, if you pull up pictures of it online, it's a good kit. But it also, even though it's technically a 30 centimeter kit, he kind of runs a little bit shorter. He's like 28, 29, right? When you pair him up against 30 centimeter pieces. So it was good, but again, that's the only one that I know of. Everything else has been like Bandai 6-inch, 8-inch figures, or when it comes to X Plus, 25 centimeter scale, they have not done a 30 centimeter King Caesar. And I thought for sure, come 2024, we would have gotten something. Even from Monster Maker 28, I was expecting them to create a King Caesar, in honor of his anniversary that year, but they never did. So when Dot asked me and Marcellus one day, like, what do you want to see? Without blinking hesitation, we both said King Caesar. And so that is what he has produced basically last year, 2025. The pre-orders came up, and now the kit is starting to get into people's hands. And if you want one, I highly suggest you hit up .Mac. But again, it was Marcellus who had the idea of making King Caesar. Because again, that monster is not represented in a 30 centimeter scale. Pretty much every single monster from the 70s Godzilla films, outside of Godzilla himself, and with the exception of, Anguirus and Ghidorah, because they're really 60s monsters or 50s monsters in Anguirus' case. I'm talking about every original 70s monster has had at least a 30 centimeter representation of himself. Hedra, Gigan, Jet Jaguar, Megalon, Mechagodzilla, Titanosaurus. King Caesar is the only one that's not had a 30 centimeter representation up until now, ladies and gentlemen. And so I got the kit, and I had it sent off to Greg, and he did a wonderful job building and painting it. Because again, King Caesar is such a unique character. Before I reveal him, I'm gonna ask Greg a couple questions about King Caesar. It is such a unique creature because it's the perfect blend of mammal. He has the fur of a mammal, then he has the scales of a reptilian, of a reptile creature. Then he has like those red ruby eyes that make him more of a mythical creature. So it's like the perfect blend of all those things rolled into one, which is why he is such a cult favorite. With that being said, Greg, like, what do you like most about King Caesar, at least the Showa one? Like, what do you like most about him?
I mean, that movie, like most of us are in our age bracket, that was our jam back then. And seeing, first of all, I love dogs, and he's kind of like a big dog. But he has, some reptilian stuff in him, and just him, how his ears went up and everything. And he was, fighting next to Godzilla, trying to take out Mechagodzilla. It was awesome. The design itself, I love the eyes, the Showa eyes. I do like the scales, and just that we hadn't seen at that point in time, besides Kong, really like a furry, like something with hair on it. You know what I mean? But it was, and I also love the
Sanda,
the
the brown gargantuan.
Sanda, yeah. Not with Godzilla though. You know what I mean?
Right,
Not in a
right, yeah.
Godzilla movie. And is that hair on them? I don't know what that is. They're weird too. I guess it is hair.
It is
But
hair, yeah.
Gaia's got like, anyway, I could talk about Gaia. Gaia's just disgusting and weird. Yeah. Anyways, no, it's such a great design, and I love that the eyes are actually they're lights from a car. I mean, that's what they use for Mechagodzilla too, but they're lights. And I have to say, what I love about doing commissions, like, is getting feedback from the customer. And you are the one that said, "Hey, can you make it look like his eyes are like glowing?"
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of." So I'm looking at some. I was actually watching it on my TV here, and I would pause it. I would just sit there and look and be like, "Okay, they're just lights. That's all they are. It's just car lights." So I'm like, "All right." So put the little yellow in there, made it look like it was popping through. Didn't try to overthink it so much, and I think it came out pretty cool the way that the eyes came out. So it was awesome to work on. I worked on two of them actually, two King Caesars, the Showa and the Haste. Well, yeah, Haste. No, Millennium
one. Yes,
Millennium
you did.
one.
Yes, you did. Yes,
Yeah,
you
right.
did.
Yeah. This guy.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Jordan's in there. I put a little tree there too for you. So Jordan's in there. There you go. But yeah, it was cool. It was interesting doing the modern one, the 2004 one, then going back to the Showa. You had to think a little differently, and not where the modern one is more, I don't want to say realistic. It is. It's the effects were better then. You have to think of the suits back then in the 70s. So you had to put a little bit of grit into it, I'd like to say,
Mm-hmm.
and not be so meticulous and be more, I don't want to say heavy handing on the like dry brush. With him, I used everything I used airbrushing, I used dry brush for the Showa one, for yours that you have for the Galloping Ghost one. So, but it was just a different approach. It was a different approach than doing this one. So, yeah.
That's why it was important, when it came down to the eyes. I think the eyes are probably the most important pieces when it comes to a figure. Like, you can do an amazing job on the body, but if the eyes are messed up, that just throws everything off, at least for me. And like you said, King Caesar historically had car lights for his eyes. The same thing was for Mechagodzilla, because the same guy designs both suits. His name was Akihiko Iguchi. He designed both Mechagodzilla and he designed King Caesar, and he had car lights installed in their eyes. The same thing with Jet Jaguar the year before. So cool facts about King Caesar. Is based off the Shisa statue that are prominently displayed around Okinawa, and is tied into Okinawa mythology. Right. Again, it was designed by Akihiko Iguchi. Again, who designed Mechagodzilla. But the Shisa statues are traditionally four-legged, but he wanted to change it up and make King Caesar bipedal. That's why he's standing on his two legs, right? He was portrayed by, I think his name was Kenichi Kasumi, who ironically played Anguirus in the same film of Mechagodzilla 74. But the cool thing about King Caesar is the fact that, again, it's based off a real life entity, because those Shisa statues are there to ward off evil spirits. So it makes sense that he would be like the heroic kaiju to ward off Mechagodzilla, but they flipped that on his head in Final Wars. But we'll talk about Final Wars at a later time. It's about the Showa one right now. But again, Marcellus, was and I were behind the idea, and we gave it to Dot. He, got with Jake Rebel from Monster Rage and basically constructed this awesome rendition of the third centimeter King Caesar. Now, before we go and show pictures of it, I want to showcase the figure right now in its glory. We kind of teased it a few weeks ago when we had Doc on and Greg, for our masterclass. But now I finally unveiled to you. Let me get myself. I'll bring right back, Greg. Let me finally unveil. It's a long time coming, ladies and gentlemen. We have waited so long for this. My God, because again, I felt like Toho did acknowledge King Caesar in 2024. It was wrong. It was downright criminal. He couldn't even get a logo. Hell, Rodan can't get a logo this year. What is wrong with you, Toho? But you know what? Dot Mac came through for us. Galloping Ghost came through for us and brought to us an official 30 centimeter King Caesar. Because again, the first one came out in 2004. There's never been another 30 centimeter King Caesar to my knowledge, besides the Resin Chef until now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the 30 centimeter Showa King Caesar. My God, Greg, you did an awesome job. Oh my God. Look at that.
I miss my boy. There he is. He was just here a few days ago. Right here.
Oh my God. Look at that. Jordan's in the chat. Hey, Jordan. Oh man, look at that. Oh my God, look at the detail on the hair. The hair flowing like, man, Greg, you killed it with the paint job. Oh man, this is so great. Oh my God. I gotta ask you before I bring you back, because you've done a lot of these Galloping Ghost kits. Obviously, you've done the 30 centimeter Godzilla. They've pretty much been all 30 centimeter. The Godzilla 91, the Final Wars Zilla, the Final Wars Hedra, the GMK Baragon. You've done the Final Wars King Caesar, of course, the Final Wars Mothra, which I'll show at a later date. Where does this rank for you? Was it more fun to make this, or was it more of a challenge because of the hair and all that good stuff?
I mean, it was definitely a challenge because of the hair. Anytime you're dealing with hair and it's not obviously real hair and you have to make it look like hair, that is one of the, in my opinion, one of the hardest things to do. So that, just getting the texture right, getting the depth right. So, you want to make sure that you get depth so there's layers in there. So there's a lot of washes, but there's also airbrushing in there as well, too. I'll do a wash and then do like a light coat of yellow and then some browns. And then, I always start off with these usually with black. I prime mostly everything in black except for one that I'm doing. Just to get that depth. So you add layers and layers and layers and layers. So he was a little bit of a challenge. And it wasn't like I said, when I did the Millennium one, it wasn't like I could just look at that and copy it. It's a different style. So this was more just getting down and dirty with it and just being like, okay, it's a guy in a suit, 70s, make it look like that. Put your own little spin to it, tiny little Gregisms, as I like to say. But I love doing the emerald too, the little green emerald there. That was fun. And his eyes. I think that's the first thing I did. I sent you a picture of them when the whole thing was just primed in black. And you had asked me, could you do that? And I remember sending you that picture and they were just like glowing. And, and then making sure you put the varnish on the eyes and pops. It was a lot. It was fun. This guy was fun to do.
And again, this has been the real acquisition for me because again, I've always wanted a 30 centimeter King Caesar Showa one. I mean, I'm glad I got the Galloping Ghost Final Wars one, but this is the one. Like again, a lot of us have been asking, like S Plus or somebody, do a 30 centimeter Showa King Caesar. And for some reason, like I said, between that and Rodan, it's like Toho, like there is a demand for it. There is a demand. Basically, what I see in the comment section, there's a demand for this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's a great demand for this. And again, my God, Greg, you killed this, man. I think this might be.
Thanks, buddy.
I think this might be your best work.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. And the Mothra. Between that and
the Mothra. Now that was really fun to work on. That was a challenge too. So I know we spoke on the last one, on the master class one. the one thing that I did was that, as you could probably see in there, well, I hit it, is that to make them look a little bit more beefier, the kit comes with 2 sets of ears. So it comes with either up or down. So if you want them, your choice. I would like to somehow figure out how to do like both, like you can incorporate both maybe with magnets, but that's for another like experiment. That would take way too long. But anyways, so I had the other ones left over. So on his shoulders, I was like, let's make him look a little bit more beefier. And I think Marcellus did the same thing with a King Caesar. And I put him on his shoulders and then kind of sculpted in so he looks a little bit more meaner and beefier looking in the shoulder area. So that was fun. That was just doing like kit bashing like that, literally kit bashing, that kind of stuff. I love doing that stuff. So he was a lot of fun. And I'm just to see your excitement,
awesome, man.
Just to see your excitement over this, it's awesome. And I gotta say, I'm looking at a Galloping Ghost kit right now that's going to be at G-Fest that that came from you, Leslie, and thank you. You know which one I'm talking about. I'll tell you which one it is. It's the -1. It's incredible. I'm looking at it right now. The seams on it were barely any. That's the one thing. They're neck and neck with KOC as far as seams go. I mean, KOC is the master of the seaming with their, like with the 64, you could just put it together. Galloping Ghost is right there. I'm not kidding. They are right there. And believe me, I've been working on some stuff for Garrett. And like, this is an older kit, a 64 kit that I'm working on right now that has the Mothra larva. And, I had to make it like this, but there was just, it's just the kit. It's an older kit. There was huge gaps and everything where you got to really sculpt and do different things. And, they're great kits, but that's just the name of the game. With these, they're great. Galloping Ghost they're phenomenal. They really are. Phenomenal kits.
Awesome. All right, now let's bring up those pictures and we go from there.
Oh, you want me to do the... All right, let me present here and share screen.
Yeah.
And let's do entire screen, share, and we're going to go right over. There he is.
Okay. Yep,
that's
it.
So, yeah, that's really cool. Tell me when you want me to go forward, Leslie, or back, or whatever.
Just scroll them. Can you zoom in a little bit to bring it out more?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
so the eyes. so the eyes again. You said you did a little bit of orange to put in the middle to.
Yep, put a little bit of orange in there, a little dot of orange, like actually airbrushed a little dot of orange in there, and then I first actually started with it was all black. Everything was black. And then you just work your way around it, and if you get overspray everywhere, and then you go in with a hand brush and then take out all the overspray and everything in there. And I like to use the black around there into the, so you can see it more right in here where the black overlay, and it just makes it pop. It just makes it pop. I mean, I don't know if I can, there can go in a little bit further, seeing it into here. It just gives the illusion that it's, glowing. That's a great picture too.
Thank you.
That's a really good picture. But yeah, this is it's just a wonderful kit. It really is.
Yeah, he's amazing. Like again, you killed it. Like
Thanks,
you killed
man.
it. It's like
Thank
again,
you.
I know it's hard to do mammals. I mean, I can imagine it's kind of hard to do mammals with the flowing hair and make it look like it's flowing and things of that nature. But King Caesar is even more so because again, like I said, it's a mixture of mammal and reptilian and all that stuff. But you brought it together perfectly. So
and all of these little like puffs of hair, little twirls, there's little twirls of hair. You have to go in there and all of these, and these all individually have to go on. And some people paint some people paint differently. They'll do them separately. I like to get it mostly put together, except if the mouth, what I did was I put them all together and I left the mouth not, I didn't secure the mouth in there so I could do the inside of the mouth and everything. That's usually what I do with all of my creatures, unless it's something really like big where the mouth is open wide where I can actually get in there. So, but yeah, he was really, really. Let me see if we can get back in there. There he is. Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, you killed it. You know what, man? Let's go towards the verses. Let's see how he looks up against other pieces. Because again, like I mentioned with the Resin Chef, it's a great piece. It was a good piece. The Galloping Ghost is better, in my opinion, obviously. But what sets Galloping Ghost apart from Resin Chef, like I said, is that this King Caesar pairs perfectly with the monsters from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And for the longest time, in 30 centimeter scale, we have gotten Godzilla. We have gotten Mechagodzilla. If you want to throw Anguirus in there, we got a 30 centimeter Anguirus. But the key to the puzzle, ladies and gentlemen, basically that the movie was built around King Caesar, really. The missing piece was a 30 centimeter King Caesar. And this is how he looks up against the X Plus favorite sculptors line, Mechagodzilla 74. Greg, what do you think?
God, this looks great. This looks so good. Yeah, it looks like he's just about ready. Yeah, it just looks like he's right. I mean, when he went up against it, looks like he's just going to have his freaking ass handed to him right now. Oh, no, he did. He did. He held his own in that movie. He really did. But, man, what are you going to do? I mean, it's Mechagodzilla, I mean, he's going to whoop you. He is. Even if you end up defeating him, you're going to come out. You're not going to come out unscathed. So no, he did what he had to do.
You know what? That's why I kind of sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with that movie. I mean, I love it, but a part of me does feel like they built that whole movie around the appearance of King Caesar, even talking about that he could rouse other monsters and things of that nature. But his appearance, even though he does fare well against Mechagodzilla, is still in a way kind of underwhelming. But I understand why that is, because they had to build Mechagodzilla as this awesome evil threat that not one monster can take down alone. So while I understand that, there's a part of me that was like, I wish they could have done more with him. They could have done more with building him up, or at least establishing him more as a formidable threat. Because really, when Godzilla arrives, Mechagodzilla concentrates mostly on him. There are times where King Caesar just disappears and he pops up like, oh, you are in this fight,
Yeah.
I just wish that King Caesar could have gotten just a little bit more love. Like, there are times I'm fine with it, and there are times I'm not fine with it. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I wish that it would have been kind of cool, now that you say that, if we got a movie just with him. That would have been kind of neat.
Yeah.
Just a King Caesar movie.
Yeah.
Like, something with him. I mean, we've got Rodan, we've got Mothra. I mean, why not? I mean, he was a popular enough character. Why not? I mean, I'd definitely be interested in seeing it. I was one of my favorite characters, especially from that series. I mean, again, grew up with it. I mean, it's funny. The year that this movie came out was the year that I was born.
Okay.
So that dates me. Wow. Yeah.
You're still awesome, though. Like I said, you put this together, so you're obviously doing something right. But I agree. King Caesar is one of the more interesting kaiju with the backstory that really should be tapped in a little bit more. And it's a shame that in his two films, it's cool to see him, but it feels like they could have done more with him. Maybe they can do what Monarch is doing. Maybe we'll have like a TV show or something where they flesh out the backstory of King Caesar or something like that. So
why not?
Let's showcase some more pictures and see how he looks up against other monsters. Of course, Mechagodzilla again. He looks great up against the favorite sculptors line, 30 centimeter Mechagodzilla 74. Monster Maker 28 versus Galloping Ghost. Look at that.
That is okay. That's okay. Let me go back to this. That's a great shot. That's a great shot, Leslie. Wow.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool. And with your collection in the background too, it's just it just looks so cool. Wow.
As a matter of fact, that one right there, that giant King Caesar right there behind the 3rd centimeter one,
Yeah.
Jordan again.
Marcellus.
Yeah, Marcellus did that one, but you know
Yep.
what? I'm coming to Kaiju Brooklyn in a few weeks, and I promised Jordan that I was going to give it to him. I still going to keep that
Oh.
promise, so I'm going to bring that to Kaiju Brooklyn and give it to Jordan because
Oh.
he's a huge King Caesar fan, and I know I give him crap on Monster Attitude, but it comes from a place of love beneath the black and the evil. But I love that dude, so I'm gonna give that to him free of charge. Come Kaiju Brooklyn.
That's
Um,
so sweet. He's a great guy.
he
He
is.
really is. He's
He
a
is.
really
He
nice
is.
guy. I love doing stuff for him. I did the King Caesar, and I'm going to be doing GMK, and hopefully more for him. You
Yeah.
know?
I still wouldn't trust my wallet around him, but aside from that, just joking, just joking. But you know what? Let's go to the next picture. We got him against Mechagodzilla. Let's see how he looks up against Godzilla.
That's a great shot too. Wow.
That is the 30 centimeter X Plus Favorite Sculptors line, 1974 Godzilla, based off the Monster Maker 28 kit. And as you can see, he scales perfectly with Godzilla. He scaled perfectly with Mechagodzilla, so it's only natural. He scaled perfectly with the King of the Monsters himself. What do you think?
Oh man, I miss him. I miss him a lot. I mean, packing him up, I was like really sad. I'm always sad when I pack him up, but I was really sad. Him and Mothra, I was like, like I said, my motto is I will not ship it out or hand it over to somebody until I want to keep it. Like I've already told Jordan that this I'm going to bring it to G Fest. I just can't promise he's going to get
it. You know what?
And
you know what? That's kind of like the. I'm sure. I think you run into. I know you're joking about that, but I know that has to be hard when you put so much work into it and it looks so good, maybe even better than what you thought you could do, and you're like, you know what? I really can't send this. Like, I'll pay you money for me to keep it. I understand. I definitely understand.
It's that's why I'm asking Doc to send me a Mothra.
Right.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get me one before G Fest, but I'd love to bring one to G Fest, and that's basically going to be my wife's. She loved that Mothra, and that's going to be hers. I'd love, I have some kits for her that I actually have to get around and do for her. I've been I've got 2 kits that are actually Justine's that I have to do. They're not Godzilla, but they're hers, and I've got to get around to do it. I think after this G Fest, me and Marcellus last year, we take like a break, like a month or 2 break.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm going to do is do those for her finally. But yeah, this looks great. This looks great, Liz. This is a great shot.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What we got next?
Oh, look at this. Hey, my 2 boys. Look at these guys.
Yeah, those are the Galloping Ghost King Caesar. Both of them, the Millennium one as well as the Showa one. I had to put these 2 together. It's ironic that the Showa one is slightly bigger or taller than the Millennium one, when in reality, statistic-wise, the Showa King Caesar was 50 meters and the Final Wars one was 100 meters. So you kind of like get an inverse here. But you did a great job with both. Again, with both of these, which one you think, well, I think I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Which one you think you did a better job with? Final Wars or the Showa one?
I think the Showa one, just because I think there's a little bit more depth in it. As far as the paint scheme goes, it just to me pops a little bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like that one. I do like the 2004 one. I think the eyes on that one too are freaking great. And what's funny is now that I'm looking at this right now, and I'm looking at Jordan's, I got to do this gold right here on his chin. So on his chin right here, see how that's gold?
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Don't worry, Jordan, it'll be gold. It's those little things, like, because this is a smaller kit. But yeah, between the 2 of them, yeah, the 74 all the way.
Yeah,
I think it's just, if you just look at it, it just, again, Rich Ezzo says this too. It's got that depth.
That depth, absolutely.
Depth. Yeah.
Because again, that's hard to replicate in a model kit, especially one of of this nature, like I mentioned before, is kind of complicated with the hair and the scales and make them flow together where one doesn't overshadow the other one. But again, you blended everything together where it flows naturally and it just comes off organic. Like again, this is probably the best looking King Caesar from the Showa period I have ever seen. If far supersedes the X+1, like for real, like you absolutely killed it. And I know Marcel's gonna work on one at some point. I know he's probably gonna do the same. But yeah, you killed it.
Thank you.
No problem. Let's show off a few more pictures, then we can land this plane. Now that one
cool.
right there, that one right there, cool. That is a Mark Sang Yang piece. So yeah, I got my two best buds, Mark Sang Yang and Greg, going up against each other. And he actually made this for me. It's a custom revealing Mechagodzilla, fake revealing God. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And he made this as a special project for me. I want to say a couple years ago. Now this is cool because again, this is more of a fantasy scenario because of course King Caesar didn't appear when the fake Godzilla appeared and started shedding his skin, right? But there's a point in the trailer. If you watch the trailer, there's a point where we see fake Godzilla instantaneously morphs into Mechagodzilla, but the background has him in Okinawa, which leads me to believe that Mechagodzilla maybe was not going to really reveal his full armor self until like the final battle. So maybe this could have been a scenario where King Caesar appears, confronts fake Godzilla, so you get that image of Godzilla technically fighting King Caesar, which they kind of tease in the movie anyway, when the fake Godzilla fully appears and that you know the grandfather of the girl, you know, like the only thing they can defeat Godzilla is King Caesar, you know. So
yeah, for some reason there was a flash of King Ghidorah that was odd. You know the part where she has the vision and they show King Ghidorah. I'm like, why did they show King Ghidorah? Anyways,
I think because they didn't reveal Mechagodzilla yet, and it was just it was just a vision of an evil monster just destroying stuff. You know, it was just something there. Because that's another thing. Like we have never seen King Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla like on the same screen at the same time. The closest we got to that is what you just mentioned, and King Ghidorah basically possessing Mechagodzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong. But we have never seen those two characters really interact with each other, which I always thought was a missed opportunity. Mechagodzilla and King Ghidorah on the same. Come on now.
That would have been insane.
That would be insane.
You know what would have been cool too? Just looking at this, how dope would it have been if they actually had this? Like his skin was slowly coming off.
Right.
Like it's this, like this. I swear to God, James Cameron was influenced by this. Every time, you know, I say people laugh at me, but I'm like, it's the Terminator. It is the Terminator. And how cool would that would have been? Like one side of his face, Mechagodzilla, and the other side, the imposter one. This would have been so dope. And then it slowly comes off. It would have been so cool. But I understand that budget-wise, oh my God, that would have been a nightmare, especially back then. I mean, they didn't have big budgets and everything back then to do something like that. I mean, in the film, it's only like a few little spots that you see it. But how cool. At least the head. Do like the head shot of like half of his face gone. You know, that would have been so cool. But, you know,
it is
4-year-old, 5-year-old Greg, you know, he was thinking that back then. So
me too. And also it would have gave King Caesar more of a showing of himself in a fight with Mechagodzilla, where he's gradually not really beating him down, but gradually tearing off the flesh. Then he fully reveals himself, and then Godzilla, you know, eventually shows up. Because really, when we sit down and think about it, when Mechagodzilla does reveal himself to Godzilla at the oil refinery, he doesn't really show what he can do until the final battle. So really, you can still get away with something like this and still get to the same result, where he fully reveals himself and then say, you know what, I can shoot a weapon out of everything out of my body and just corner y'all, you know, stuff like that. So, but this is an option that I made, you know, display on my shelf. You know, I got this, you know, Godzilla, you know, Mechagodzilla. But I want to put these two together to present that fantasy scenario of what would have happened if Mechagodzilla fought King Caesar more and have him gradually tear off the flesh, and then he'll gradually reveal himself in the final battle. So that's a great what if scenario. Let's go to the next photograph. see what we got here. Again, Godzilla.
That's cool.
With King Caesar again, the favorite sculptors line 74 Godzilla. He looks great up against King Caesar. The cool thing about that tag team of Godzilla and King Caesar is the fact that, again, even though it was made in the 70s, they were trying to stray away from the goofiness that Megalon did the year before. So I like, even though Godzilla and King Caesar are tag team partners, and there are some silliness here and there in Mechagodzilla, like the point where Godzilla, when he comes on the scene in the final battle, he sees Mechagodzilla and he fires his ray, and Mechagodzilla flies to the last minute, and Godzilla's like, "Damn it, almost got him." You know, you got moments like that.
Oh, I love that. That gives him personality. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
so good.
but that's a sign of the silliness of the era, you know. But they still were trying to make it more serious, and they damn sure got serious by the next film. But I like how with Godzilla and King Caesar, they weren't really they were a tag team, but they didn't really acknowledge each other like Jet Jaguar and Godzilla did, where they were shaking hands and doing high fives. They just had a common enemy, and they both had an enemy that they both had to take down. So once they were done, they were like, you know what, we'll part ways. They didn't really acknowledge each other except when they were getting their asses kicked. Yeah. So I like that somewhat realism where you have two monsters that come together by necessity to take down, you know, a common enemy, but they weren't really chums like him and Jet Jaguar were the year before, which was cool. Let's go to the next photograph. Let's see if we can find out how they look, all three of them together. We can. More of that. Okay, that scales well. Let's see how they look, all three of them together. Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and King Caesar.
Uh-oh. Did I skip that? Shoot. I know you sent me that.
I think I did. If not, then that's fine, because you basically see how they look up against each other. If anything, I'll post them on the Kaiju Live group, and y'all can see all three of them together. It's fine. It is good. Trust me, you got a sense of scale of how they look up against each other. Basically, they're in the same scale with each other. King Caesar scales well with Godzilla. He scales well.
He does.
Scales well with Mechagodzilla perfectly. So this is absolutely fine. But yeah, again, Greg, you did a phenomenal job. Again, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to, of course, Greg Betters from Betters Creation. I really do appreciate it. Of course, Dot Matt from Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo. Let me bring this up. Of course, Marcellus Winters. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you're on the comeback trail.
Yeah.
Of course, Jake Rebel for Monster Rage. Basically, all y'all had a hand in making this thing a reality. And if you want one, hit up Dot Mac. He's not hard to find on Facebook. Or maybe you can find him through the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo website or the Facebook page. But either way, if you want this awesome kit of King Caesar, hit up Dot Mac. And if you can't build and paint it yourself, you got this guy right here. You got Marcellus. You got a lot of people in our community. But hit up Greg from Better Creations and Marcellus first to get the quality, best quality build-up paint job for the Galloping Ghost resin model kit of King Caesar 1974. And I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everybody for being here. We do appreciate it as we reveal this awesome kit. Again, if you want a model kit built up for you, or if you got a kaiju project, collectible project that needs some expert hands in dealing with, please hit up Greg Betters Creations, and he will definitely hook you up. Greg, can you tell them how they can find you if they want to contract with you on anything?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, obviously under just Greg Betters. You can find me. There's a picture of me and Marcellus together on my profile pic, and I'm on Instagram as well under Betters Creations. So, can I do a little sneak peek of something from G-Fest?
You sure can. You sure can.
Okay. So Blackheart Studios it's actually this one I did for, and actually Adrian actually bought this from me. This is Blackheart Studios. It's so funny this popped up on the screen. This guy, the big chunk of meat. So I got another one, but this time what I did was I'm going to open up the mouth and make him look like he's roaring. So I primed it in red, and I just started. So this is basically only the red and the black part of it. So this is what it's going to look like so far.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's kind of cool with the red.
Yes,
looks like he just bit into something. So yeah, so I've just, obviously there's a lot more work to be done, but I resculpted the mouth, opened up the mouth, resculpted all inside the mouth, all in there. Did his disgusting fleshy things in there too. So this is
Yeah.
good. This is going to be at G Fest. This guy is huge. I mean, look how big he is to my big stupid head. I mean, it is enormous. So this will be at G Fest finished. Obviously, it's not going to look like this. It's going to be finished, but there's going to be a lot of stuff at G Fest this year. I'm going to be bringing. I don't even know how much stuff, and there's one big surprise that I think people are going to really, really like.
Yes, sir.
And Leslie knows what it is. Marcellus, I believe, knows what it is. Rich knows what it is. It's going to be cool, guys. So stay tuned. That's it for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, Greg, I can't thank you enough. Like again,
Hey,
this is without question, this was the one acquisition I was most looking forward to this year. Because like I said, of the rarity of there's 30 centimeter representations of this kaiju. And that's the cool thing about Galloping Ghost is like they're offering these kaiju in these scales that are heavily underrepresented in our marketplace. Yes, it's more expensive, but at the same time, you do get a solid representation of said kaiju. And again, if you can't build and paint it yourself, you got a plethora of people at the top of the list. Get Greg a shout out, or Marcellus, or David Dopko, or Steve Serajoli. There's plenty of people to choose from. So don't be afraid, of model kits, even though they're more expensive, or the fact they're made of resin. And the cool thing about Galloping Ghost is that it's a US based company, so you don't have to worry about tariffs or any overseas fees. You know what I'm saying? They're made right here in the US. So, but yeah, I'm gonna blow myself up right fast. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, finally, in all his glory, courtesy of Greg Betters and Marcellus Winters and Jake Rebel, and of course Dot Mac, I give to you, ladies and gentlemen, the 30 centimeter resin model kit of the Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, everybody's favorite Okinawa god, the one and the only King Caesar. So if you want one, hit up Dot Mac, and he will definitely hook you up, and then you can go from there. Again, so far my most favorite figure acquisition of this year, 2026. This is peak. I don't see anything topping this, honestly. And I know there's some great stuff coming. Like next month, I think the Sakai 2003 is coming. I know the Zilla 98 30 centimeter from X Plus is coming this month. I think Godzilla Jr. for X Plus that just came out. But to me, this is peak. And if you want one and you want it done like this, hit up Marcellus and hit up Greg Betters, and they would definitely hook you up. So again, Greg, thank you so much, my brother. I really do appreciate
no problem.
it. Thank you so much. And everybody here in the chat, thank you for taking the time to relish in this reveal with us, whatever. I'm definitely going to showcase this on the Kaiju Live group and other Facebook groups I'm a part of, Look at the cat. What's going on, baby? And again, everybody in the chat, thank you. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. And hopefully, it'll get your gears grinding where you can hit up Dot Mac and maybe get you a kit of yourself of King Caesar. If not, there are other kits that he has done. Like I said, the entirety of the roster of Final Wars, the GMK Baragon, the 30 centimeter Godzillasaurus 1991, the most recent kits of the lift of Monster Zero 1 and Monster Zero 2, Godzilla and Rodan, the standalone kits of Godzilla and Rodan from Monster Zero. Just great stuff, and some stuff that I know is definitely coming. I know he wants to do a 30 centimeter 1965 King Ghidorah to go with Godzilla and Rodan, and he has basically also said what I'm most looking forward to, Titanosaurus. A 30 centimeter Titanosaurus is on his way. So yeah, look for some great things for Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo, courtesy of the awesome Dot Mac. You know what I'm saying? So again, thank you to Greg. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Marcellus, I love you. Thank you so much. Dot,
love you, Marcellus.
Jake Rebel, thank you so much. And of course, AJ, I know you're in the chat. Thank you, my brother. We're gonna be back doing what we do on Kaiju Live next week on What's New in Kaiju. Also want to give a plug to all the Star Wars fans. The 4th was yesterday. May the 4th be with you. But of course, AJ and Evandro did a special Square Table podcast discussion about Star Wars. Their their favorite moments, their favorite movies, their least favorite moments and least favorite movies. It really is a fun discussion. Now, mind you, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but even I was intrigued by that show. It just happened just last night, and it's here on the channel. So please check it out. 50 Years of Star Wars with AJ Russo and Evandro. You know what I'm saying? So we got some great content coming for you guys in the next several months. And we can't wait to tell you more about it when the time comes. But in the meantime, get you the 30 centimeter resin model kit of the Galloping Ghost King Caesar 1974 from Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. So, but that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate it. And we will see y'all again next week on what's new in Kaiju. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Are you going to sing? Sing it.
Me?
Yeah,
Me?
sing. Yeah, King Caesar.
Caesar! Caesar! Caesar!
All right. Have a good night. Bye, folks.